So you've read the title? Yeah, it's clickbait. Uh, although, I'm just gonna get straight to the point here. I'm running late. I have stuff to do today, and I have not done it yet, so I'm gonna get straight to the point here. This is definitely gonna be one of my most controversial videos, perhaps in the history of my channel. So be prepared. I'm gonna say something, and I want you to pay attention to all of the words here. Alright? Good, thank you. So, masculinity. From a in a sociological context, is not a human nature. And what I mean by that is masculinity isn't really something you're born with. It's something you gain. You aren't born masculine. You're born human. Once you get out of that, like, first 5 years of your life, you have a moral compass. You feel emotions. You think properly, not to the best of your ability, but you think, nevertheless. You're not necessarily masculine or feminine, though. You're just a child. You're just a human. Now, the world we live in either makes you masculine or feminine. It's these two pathways. And it's been designed so that women become feminine and men masculine. Of course, that's changing now. Not really for better or for worse. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of either. Because, at least from what I've seen, both of them are just lesser versions of a pre-existing mentality. Let's stay on the topic of masculinity. Very similar to Stoicism, which is an ideology I am a big fan of. However, in my opinion, it emphasizes too much on detachment. See, as men, we are taught to detach ourselves from our emotions. We're taught that our emotions make us weak, which is not true. Detaching yourself from your emotions deprives you of your humanity, and it is a weakness. There are upsides, but there are more downsides than upsides. This causes men to be very emotionally unfulfilled in life. I've asked a lot of people what is an issue that is not talked enough about, and many say men's mental health. However, I don't think it's men's mental health. I think it's men's emotional health. Because they don't have emotional health to begin with. And I think that's a big problem. When you can't think emotionally as a man, this is a problem because it prevents you from being in touch with a woman. Because women act and think. Their lifestyle, feminism, people that are feminine, their lifestyle is very focused around emotions. not so much on direct, detached thinking. And this is what, in my opinion at least, has kept men and women so divided, is that they cannot even, just from the moment they were raised, the moment they were a child, they cannot perceive how the other gender is thinking. They can't even fathom their reasoning, because their brains, their minds, they've been raised so differently that they cannot communicate with each other effectively. And this prevents a lot of deep and meaningful relationships from forming, which is, in my opinion, a big reason for the male loneliness we see today. Don't get me wrong, this affects women too, but in our society, women have a lot more options than men. So in the loneliness aspect, in the aspect of not having another partner. However, this is what I will say. Both suffer from not having a meaningful partner. Women may have more options, but are they good options? No. They're terrible. This is why people are so lonely and isolated. It's because they cannot connect properly. Their minds cannot work together. They can't intertwine, which is what relationships are about. And it's been made like this because conflict is so easy. Conflict is so easy between, it's so easy to start between the two genders. Of course it is. They can barely understand each other. They can hear what they're saying, but they perceive it in their own way. It's impossible for them to communicate effectively. Men say one thing through a certain lens, and women perceive it through another lens. Of course there's going to be conflict. Of course there's going to be misunderstanding. And then this is why stuff like Women's Day is such a deadly tool for division. It's because women cannot talk about their problems properly. Because men's brains aren't wired to understand that stuff. And then men get angry and then they lash out and women don't understand. And it's just hatred. For any of you who have read 1984, there is this concept. It was written by George Orwell. He's a very good writer. And I'm saying this like I read a lot of books. Okay. But George Orwell presented a concept in his book. It was called the 2 minutes hate. It was basically a time when everyone just gets all their insecurities, all their unfulfillment and remorse and inner hatred towards themselves out at the enemy, at Goldenstein, which is the enemy. Don't know why I did this. It is very similar to Women's Day, because it is just everyone just venting out all of their insecurities, once again, all of their inner self-hatred, all of that towards the other gender. It's just anger, especially with teenagers. And that is very dangerous because teenagers, and I'm speaking from experience from this, I saw this at my previous school. You just see this crap going on. And it is very dangerous to teenagers because Ask anyone with a degree in education; they'll tell you that middle high school era is solely for socialization. And when that is taken away, when that socialization is ruined with stereotypes and anguish and misunderstanding, do you think that's going to be good for a teenager in the long run? No, of course it's not going to be good. This is why I don't think masculinity is a good thing. Just like how I don't think femininity, if that's a word, is a good thing either. Masculinity and feminism are both two sides to the same coin of oppression. Think about that for a second. Neither side is free. Neither side is happy. Neither side is stoic or truly productively emotional. Masculine men claim they're stoic. Feminine people claim they're in touch with their emotions, even though it's not in a productive way at all. You need your emotions, but you can't let yourself be controlled by them. Stoicism isn't outright, true strength isn't outright denying your emotions. It's channeling them and using them in a productive way, controlling yourself. And I'll probably make a video on that. Channeling and detachment, when to use them, how to use them, what they're good for, the two skills, how it all relates to stoicism. I'll make a video on that. And then another problem is, I'm going to move on to the next thing here, next item on the agenda. In our materialistic society, we often associate items and things with masculinity or femininity. It's a marketing ploy. It's like, you're not a woman unless you have this. You're not a man unless you have this. You're not a man unless you have a fully grown, scruffy beard. Use this product that starts hair growth. Or you're not a woman unless you paint your nails. But none of that matters. Painting your nails doesn't make you any less of a man or more of a woman. It's just painting your nails. It's nail polish. It's an item. There is no it doesn't affect you mentally in any way. It's a fucking product. Sorry for swearing. Just gets me riled up a little bit when we associate items with character traits. With not even that, just with our human nature. Which, by the way, this human nature doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as masculinity as male nature or femininity as female nature. That doesn't exist. It's how people are raised. I will say, however, there are, of course, physical differences. Men have more testosterone, less estrogen. Men can build up their body mass easier. Women have better immune systems. There are those physical differences, but is it really to the point where we cannot even understand each other or have a rational, meaningful, productive conversation with each other? No, that doesn't. Masculinity and femininity aren't helpful because they don't exist as a human nature. They're not a part of us. There's something you gain. There's something that you get when you're conditioned a certain way. So don't devote your life to masculinity or feminism, because all of it's bullcrap. Devote your life to inner fulfillment, to doing what's going to bring you the most fulfillment in life, to helping others, to doing what feels right. Don't let the world condition you. Don't let the world make you more masculine or feminine. Stick to your humanity, because that's what you were born with, my friend. Friends, I know. We're growing a bond here. It's so cool. But, yeah. 3 videos in growing a bond. Shut up. You're born with your human nature, is what I'm trying to say. And the world conditions you to go into one of these two mentalities. Both are crap, because they prevent you from building meaningful bonds with other people, with people with the other mentality. But if we all just chose to stick to our own lane, if we chose to stick with the lane we started on, we'd all be together. There wouldn't be this crap we see today on Women's Day when everyone's arguing, debating. That's all I have to say. Stick to your guts. If that's just, is that how it? Stick to your guns, stick to your guts. Just be yourself. Don't let the world condition you. Masculinity, femininity, left, right, Republican, Democrat. Just stick to you. Stick to what you were born with. Stick to fulfillment. And yeah, I'll be making, as I said before, I'm going to make a video on detachment and channeling. It's also in the book I'm writing. Should probably add more detail on that, but I'll make a video on it. Hopefully you learned something.